4.1. Okay, if these are the zeros, then the factors have to be x plus 4 once. If it's a degree 3 and there's 3 roots, they each have to have a multiplicity of ones. So x minus 0, or just x, and x minus 2. And it could be times something. And we can put in a 1 or whatever, and it would work. But 3, any number in there could be applied. So this is kind of in general. A number times these 3 factors. So if 52 had these zeros, it would be x plus 2, x, and x minus 2, these 3 factors with those zeros, and so some number would be the function. But since they give us the point, we should be able to figure out the number. Y, or f of x, is 16 when x is negative 4. So negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. X is negative 4. And negative 4 minus 2 is minus 6. So we have 8 times minus 6 is negative 48. Dividing both sides by negative 48. That gets rid of those. And a is negative 1/3. So our function is negative 1/3 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. And you could multiply these out, but that's good enough. Now 56 says we have these zeros, minus 1, so that means x plus 1 is a factor. Has multiplicity 2, so it has to be a factor twice. 0, so that means x, and that's 1, so we just have an x. And a 3, so x minus 3 twice, times some number would be the function. And it's minus 48 when x is 1. So that's negative 2 squared, which is 4. 2 squared, 4. 1 times a is negative 48. So that's 16. So we'll divide by 16. And we get negative 3 is a. So our answer for the function would be negative 3 times x plus 1 squared times x minus 3 squared. Okay, now we got this one. Find the zeros and multiplicity. So this is actually a 6th degree. So, but the factor here, x squared plus 3, is never equal to 0 with real numbers, because you subtract 3 and you get a negative and you take the square root. You got the square root. X would equal plus or minus the square root of negative 3, which is plus or minus I square root of 3. So they're imaginary zeros. And there's this has 1 of each 3 times, so the multiplicity of each one of these is 3. But there's no real zeros, so we don't have anything. Doesn't apply to this one. So when does it cross or touch or hesitate or whatever? It doesn't do any of those, because there's no real zeros. The maximum number of turns, it's x to the 6, so it could have 5, that's the max, but the possible number of turns is 5, 3, or 1, but max is 5. And the end behavior, so this is degree 6, So that means both ends go in the same direction, but with the -2, they're both going to go down. So the end behavior is down on each side of the graph. And that's it for this assignment.